Hey folks, AJaytheCEO here, and guess what? We got ourselves another PTZ camera from AVKANS. Let's go ahead, open it up, see what's inside, and let's put it through its paces. This is an NDI one as well too, so we will be testing out all that functionality as well. So let's cut over and let's see what's inside. All right, and in full disclosure, AVKANS sent me this. They are seeing this the exact same time that I am posting this, so all right, got the standard, got our joystick. I'm messing up already. Anyway, we got our remote here, power cables, RS-232 cable, manual, and it's actually sticking to the top. There you go. And the camera itself, way lighter. And to be quite honest, I am at a loss for the specs, so I don't know the zoom and everything like that. We're going to test that all out. All right, so let's zoom in here on the bottom. All right, so if we look at our connections here, we have USB 3.0, HDMI out, audio in, Ethernet out, SDI, RS-232 in and out, and power. So on the bottom, we have our dip switch settings. And most of the time, I don't really have to adjust these. But if we look on here, it says it supports up to 1080p 60. So that would be switches 1 through 3 would be on and number 4 would be off. And I don't know if you can tell, those are where the dip switches are. And it looks like they're all on, which means that everything is going to be adjusted from the menu. That's typically how I use it. So that doesn't need to be done. You do have your quarter thread so that you can mount this on a tripod. Because I know a lot of people always say like, AJ, I don't want a tripod. A PTZ, I don't want to mount it on the wall. You don't have to. You can put it on a tripod. That's what I do with mine. It's on a tripod here that's actually connected to the desk. And this makes it really portable. And anyway, that's about it. So let's go ahead and connect this up to my PoE switch. And let's confirm that this does support PoE, which I believe it does, but it's good to have it plugged in to test. And a light is on, so I am getting some control. And there we go. So yay, like this. And everybody always saying, what's PoE? Power over Ethernet. It's sending power over this one cable. This is going to give it power. It's going to give it network access. If it supports the VSCA over IP, so I can control it with a joystick, this cable would do everything else. The only thing else I would need to do is have a video out. So we got that done. Now let's go ahead, switch over to the computer, and let's see what we can do to see about looking at this whole thing. And I guess I need to have another cable hook up to this so that we can see what's going on. All right, folks, we're here on the desktop and we are at AVKANS website. Now, to get to this camera, it's not like the typical one where you would go to the IP address of the camera and get to it. There is no web interface for this one. So we have to use the AVKANS auto tracking software. So we got that downloaded, and the model, for those that wanted to know, was the AV-E20-NDI. That's the one that we're testing out right now. So I got that open. Let's minimize this. And as you can see, here is the camera. So let's go ahead and double click on that and see, you can see the image back from the camera there. All right, let's go ahead and add to client. And I am going to assume the password is admin username password. That's typically what it was. And there it is. All right, so let's go ahead and make this full screen after we've added it here. And now let's select this one. This was the original one we had. Let's go ahead and remove that so we don't confuse ourselves with that. Now we're going to go here. Let's go to remote configuration. And this is where we can make some changes in here. So the first thing is streaming. We're going to change. That's fine. I think that's the frame rate. Like the text is really kind of washed out right there. But anyway, let's go over here to network. It is set to DHCP, so I stand corrected on that. RTMP, so you could stream directly from this if you wanted to. Protocols, we have this enabled, so it can be controlled from a joystick here. We're going to be testing that out. This is where we do our upgrade, username and password. We can set it to a time zone and all this other stuff. Not going to do that. And then here's our NDI function where we can give it a name and all this other stuff. Now, what I want to do, our audio is set to mono. This is all our audio settings. These are all our regular camera settings. Let's set this to encode level of high. We have H.264 and H.265. That's fine. We have our max rate. We have our video rate type. Resolution can't go any higher than 1080p. There's our mainstream. All that is fine. Let's go ahead and save all of that. And now that we got that, let's go ahead and click on the main view so we can get to the menu. Now, one thing is, it looks like this is in some type of black and white mode. Let's go ahead and make this full screen. And I wanted it to take up this entire window. Oh, well. All right, so let's go through the menus, and we're going to see video, image mode. Let's go back one, because I think my color is off, but let's go through. Let's change this anti-flicker to 60. Now let's go to color. White balance is set to auto. That's fine. System. Okay, I actually stand corrected. I was like, why is this not showing up in color? But let me actually switch this over so you can actually see. I'm looking through this, which is strange. There must be some setting in the remote software to take it out of black and white, because if I go directly to the camera, you can see it is in color. So interesting. But anyway, let's go through the menu here. So we have our protocol. Let's change our frame rate, because remember, in the settings on the dip switch on the bottom of the camera, it's set to put everything in control from a menu. I like that, because if you have the dip switch set wrong and it's locked to a certain frame rate, you're going to have to get back up, take the camera down and switch it. So let's switch this over to 1080p 60. And you can do your mount mode. Wait a minute, it didn't save. Oh, I have to hit OK for that. There it goes. It's shut off. It should come back up here in a second. Yeah, it's restarting. All right. Waiting for our image to come up, and boom, there we go. Let's go back to our menu here. And let's see our other settings. Let's go to status here. All right, so we have our protocol and our address. We're going to want to switch that because, again, I have 3 cameras here. So let's go up to system. Let's change our address to camera 3, because that is the 3rd one. Let's go ahead and OK that. Good thing that doesn't need to restart. And the protocol. Now, this is, if we were using RS-232 to control that, that would be Visca. Let's see, does it support Pelco? And it does not look like I may be able to control this over IP, but we're going to test that out. So we got that all done. And I think that's mainly it. I mean, you have control in here that you could change the color and play around with all that other cool stuff. Exposure, we did over that. We changed the all of those settings. And that's mainly it from a standpoint of this. Now, let's go ahead and cut over to my joystick here and let's see if we can get this linked up. And I'm going to relocate this over here so that y'all can see it easier. All right, folks, so we're over here and we got our joystick and we're going to go see if we can control this directly over IP. I don't think that would work because we looked through the menus and it didn't have VSCA over IP as a protocol that's supported. So let's go ahead and just search here. And we're going to search for VSCA over IP. None. Nothing is showing up. Now let's go back. Let's search for on VIF. It ain't going to show it because I did not see anywhere in the settings to even enable this. Yeah, so see, nothing. It's pulling up everything on my network. All right, so let's try and go through an inquiry. Now, I need to confirm the IP address first. I believe it stayed the same. Yes, it's still 213. All right, so let's go ahead and change this to camera number 3, ID number 3, that is, protocol. See, it does VSCA, Pelco, on VIF. We're going to set it to VSCA, and we need to use the cable that they gave us. All right, so we're going to be using this VSCA cable. Let's go ahead and connect this to our RS232N. All right, that's connected. And then we have our RS232 controlled directly. All right, so now let's go back in here and let's look at the menu. And we're going to try and manually connect it. So we already got our ID. We set that in the menu to be ID number 3. We have our port. We have our baud rate. All of that is straight. So let's go to call. And there we go. We have access. Let's zoom out here. And there you go. Now, again, this is one of those things that I like the fact that this is an IP joystick and it will manually control one of these. So you could have these daisy chain. Now, again, me personally, I don't like the fact that it doesn't have IP control, but this joystick can compensate for both of them, which I like. So we have multiple controls up here. So if we look on up here in my beautiful mug right there, there we go. Now, just like anything else, we should have same access to do presets and everything like that. So let's cut this over and I'm going to adjust this so you see directly what the camera is looking at. All right, so now we are looking directly at what the camera is looking at. So hi, let's go ahead and now that we're here, we're going to do a preset and we put a position and we put the number here. So I will cut back over and split all of these so you can see what I'm pressing on the joystick. So I'm gonna come in here and all of the buttons are different depending on the joystick that you're using. So in here, normally I would set a position, set the camera exactly where I want it to be. So I would have it looking at me. And then we're gonna do a position. I'll do 1 preset. All right, set position to 1. That's been done. Now let's zoom in. That's kind of scary. Let me bring this down and let's actually turn this around. And I will look at my studio camera. Let's zoom in a little bit. And this is a 20x if I didn't mention it. And we're going to set this to position 2. All right. So now let's go ahead and do position 1 call. There you go. And then position 2 call. There you go. So all of the functionality of being able to set preset conditions, positions, and everything like that works as well too. So that's cool. Now let's cut back over to the desktop. And what we want to do now is play around with the NDI functionality. All right. So let's go ahead and switch back to my desktop. And we're going to look at the NDI Studio Monitor, which is my tool of choice for doing stuff like this. So let's open up. Actually, I have a shortcut here on my Stream Deck. And there we go. So now let's see what shows up. Because again, in the menus in here, did I close it? I think I closed the app here. And no, that's the install. I don't need to install it again. Give it a second to open up. The main thing is I want to go back in here and let's look at how all of these settings are. So if we go to NDI, this is the name, this is the camera name, the NDI model and everything. So that's what we're going to be looking for over our network. If you have the newest version of NDI plugin for OBS 28.12, I believe it is, it does work with this. So yay, finally NDI is working. If you have VMix or anything like that, anything like Pro Presenter, it'll work with this as well too. So that's what we're looking for. So let's come back over here and we're going to go to, and there it is, straightforward. Now, the other good thing about this, it does give you control inside of this as well too. So that's autofocus. Where's my zoom? There we go. So we can zoom out here. Let's spin this around so you can see the back of my head. Pull it down a little bit and up, went a little bit too fast. Let's do it for the infinite loops and stuff like that. So there you go. So NDI, let's go ahead and close this out and let's see if we can open up VMix. And then I think I have OBS, the NDI on here as well too. If not, I will open that up and play around with that as well too. So we're going to look up the OBS NDI plugin version 28. All right, so while we have VMix open, all we're going to do is here add a new input. We just do a search, and there's our camera right there. You can OK it. And there we go. There's our source added very easily into NDI. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and install our NDI plugin. And let's see if OBS now works with this. This is not a reflection of the camera. This is just a reflection of NDI having some issues with version 28 OBS. All right, so we're here in service. Let's go ahead and turn this off and let's go ahead and add a new source. And there it is, NDI, yay. And let's see, does it show up? Yes, it does. There it is. We did okay. And we're going to, I was going to transform it to full screen, but there we go. So that is working here. And this is version 28.1.2 of OBS. You guys make sure you download the latest version of that NDI plugin, which is right here. I will include a link to that, but really cool. Now this does not support tracking or anything like that, like the other ones. But again, it's I just love the options of all these other cameras as well. So we open this up here. So we got the controls. So there is no tracking or anything on this, just like the other ones. But again, that's fine. But again, I like the fact there's so many other options with this camera. and giving you NDI function. Now, I specifically, well, it's in the title. The price for this type of camera, a 20X with NDI functionality at $540 is a steal. It's a steal. So the only issue that I have is the fact that you would actually need to have a connection to it to control it if you're using the joystick. But if you're using NDI or a higher level of VMix, you can actually control it that way. Now, one thing I did not try, which I don't believe would actually be an option anyway, is to try and control this through the PTZ Optics app that can control a bunch of other cameras. And also, I didn't even show you, they actually have AVKANS has a software control that you can um, control the camera directly with your computer. And I didn't link it in the other video, but this is the cable that I'm using. It is a USB to RS-232 adapter for your computer. So it uses a COM port and talks to it. That's what I was using for this. That's how I can control this, but let's see if this will work. I don't believe it will. So some of these, see, like here, there's no way I'm aware of to connect it. So this isn't an IP camera. This isn't a USB camera. So I don't believe, well, let me just put it this way. I am not aware of how I could link this camera to this because that's using Visca IP control. And the other one is using USB control to control it. So that is not working for me. Or let me rephrase that again. Not that it's not working for me. I am not aware of how to get that to work. But guys, this is a deal right here. So they have this camera that I'm doing review directly for the NDI version. List price is $599, $600 for an NDI one, which again, normally the NDI with a 20X, you're looking at around the $800 price range. So you're saving at least $200 on that. Gives you SDI, HDMI. I didn't test USB, but you know, maybe I should. Yeah, let's test that. So we got our camera here. I need this type of USB cable here. We're going to connect this here in the back. Now, contrary to the other ones, this does not provide power over USB. So I now have this one connected to my computer over USB. And we're going to go in and see, first off, does it show up over OBS directly as well? So let's come back in here. That's the one that's not active anymore. All right, let's go ahead and open up a new video capture device. Let's see what shows up. And uh-oh, there it is. Cool. So now that we have this connected, let's go back in here again with the control app. And let's see, camera number 2. This is, yep, and there it is. Now let's see, can we control this with this remote software? Nothing is moving so far. Not getting anything. But that has happened before. Let's check one more time. So that is, we are set to it. But not getting any control with that. That stinks. But that's what happened with the other one. So I might have to revisit that, but this could be used as a USB camera as well too. And I think that's cool. So again, I just made sure that I actually tested that last part because that's what I remembered not to do last time. So again, link is down below for the NDI version that I'm using. That again, list price is $599, but it's on sale right now for $539.10. And then they have a non-NDI version that actually supports the same type of outputs, and it's going for $449. So a steal, folks. I mean, and even the let me bring this up so y'all can actually see this as well too. So the one that I am looking at right now is 539.10. The other one, which is just a 20x standard that could work with USB out as well too, that's 449.10. And then the 30x is $699, and the auto tracking is also $699. So I mean, guys, the prices of these things are dropped so much. And if you want the auto tracking one with NDI, that's the one we've reviewed before as well too. That one is going for $809, but still a steal at these prices for what you can get. You can get one of these, have nothing but a network cable going to it that provides power if you're using the NDI solution with VMix or anything like that, and that's it. Really awesome. Link is down below to all of the ones that I've reviewed and other ones that you have. If you're looking at one, guys, the prices are ridiculously low. So go ahead and snatch them up. Thank you again, AVKANS, for sending this to me. And let me know if you have any other questions, because I mean, we're adding a bunch of these to the collection. So I need to find a place where I'm going to put this camera at. I might put this as my forward facing one. I don't know. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, folks. If you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. We will catch you on the next video. Later.